Well, hey everybody, it's the 25th day of September. I'm Jan Erickson, and this is As Above, So Below. I hope your week is going well. It got to 91 or 92 here yesterday. This always happens sometime in September. We'll see just how bad the winter's going to be. Let's go ahead and take a rune from the Elder Futhark bag to get started. We have Ingus, or Ingwas. This can be written this way. It can be also drawn with two X's on one on top of the other. But the center point is still the diamond, even if you do that. I prefer this one, especially when I'm doing bind runes. It's easier to express what I'm trying to express in it. But it's the 22nd rune of the Elder Futhark. It's Kenaz focused inward in all directions. It's thought to be the seed. It's the sudden release of, when a seed will pop open and start to grow, it's a sudden release of creation energy into form, into manifestation. It can mean genetic inheritance, especially if you draw it as the two X's. There's a thing I can show you. Especially if you draw it this way. It kind of looks like a DNA strand when you do. Let's see. It'd be like that, but you can see the diamonds on the inside there. But it looks like a little DNA strand, so it could be DNA, genetic inheritance, potential. It can be grounding or inner focus, male fertility. It's a good garden bind rune because it represents, again, the seed. It can be, I use it in a bind rune I did. As kind of the base, and then everything else is on the inside of it. And so it's all that energy that's coming together to then explode essentially into manifestation of some kind. So there could be something today that's coming to conclusion, or after you've been working on something and it comes to conclusion. It's like with Birkenau, coming to fruition, or it could be the start of something. So either way, it's like the final thing, the final scene in the movie. It could be something like that, where you finally understand what it's all about. It could actually be something like that as well. But I tend to look at it as potential, the potential for something to come into form or into manifestation. We have, let's see, put these in the order of fire, air, water, and earth. We have Fortuna Major. So it could be something here is happening today. Fortuna Major is greater fortune. Minor is lesser fortune. But major, there could be something that's coming that could be quite successful for you. You could look at it that way. There's Fortuna Major. When you're looking at the Geomancy runes, just a note, anytime you see two dots, that's a passive influence, and the top one is fire, the second one is air, and then water is the third, and earth is the fourth. And you put them always, the four runes, into that pattern. So with fire and air, it's passive. Water and earth, it's active. And so something emotional is very strong with this rune. So when you're happy about your success, you see that would be that type of relationship there. And then earth would be your physical reality, be material security, things like that. And so something could be coming into manifestation today that will help you be more successful, maybe. Something that impacts your physical life, your material life. But let's look at the cards and see if they can give us a little more details of what that might be involving. I've already done some shuffling. I'm going to cut the deck, take the lower half, and draw 3 cards. Well, just like on, we had 3 different suits and therefore elements represented on Monday's reading. We had Pentacles, Wands, and Swords, and then I drew a 4th card, which was Cups. So we had all elements represented in the reading. Here we start out with Pentacles, And we have pentacles, we have wands, and we have cups. I think what I'm going to do, though, here, well, I think I'm going to start with the cups and go in the order of, it'd be the 5 of cups, the 7 of pentacles, and the 6 of wands. I may end up putting the pentacles last, though. But let's just read it this way. But before I do, let's go ahead and do the numerology and get that up here. So I said we had 22. I'm going to do this 2 different ways. I'm going to leave the 22 separate. 22 is a master number for the cosmic builder. And so that's why I think, you know, when you're looking at Ingus, you're looking at manifestation, because what are you going to create today that's going to be successful, essentially, if you want to look at it that way. What potential is there for the success? And so you need to really pay attention to what you're doing and to make sure that you're spending your time wisely. But I'm going to leave that separate. I'm just going to write that down here. 22, comma, and then let's see what this is. We have 5. I hate to include master numbers 11 and 22 and 33. I hate to include them in an overall numerology because I think they have so much energy on their own. I think they need to be separate. So 5 plus 7 plus 6. We have 18, which comes to 9. So there's something could be coming to an end, endings and completion with the 9. And basically, it also means spirituality and generosity and stuff like that. But I kind of look at the 9 as an ending of some kind. So there could be something that's ending that then comes in, and then something new is on the horizon with the potential for success. So we'll say it that way. So let's start out with the 5. Here we have the 5 of cups. Here you have a guy, possibly it could be a woman. We don't really know because looks like he's got a ponytail there, but it could be a man from the Middle Ages, so it could be. We see a castle on the other side of the river here, or the little stream, and you see a little arch bridge there. But he's on the other side, and that's also reinforced by this line here, that everything is behind on this side, this little section of the card. Everything else is over there. His head is bowed. He's wearing black. Indicates sadness. He's not focused on his home. He could be looking at the 3 overturned cups here. There's 2 behind him he's not looking at, though. He can't see those. But basically, with cups, it is the water element. It's our emotions. It's also change and balance and things like that. But you're looking essentially at emotions here. And with the overturned cups, with the contents spilled on the ground, something's happened. Something's happened to upset the balance, the emotional balance that he had before. And he could be very, very sad about that. 5 is about change. It's also about protection, but it's essentially about change. So something's happened, possibly with respect to his home. Maybe he can't go back there for some reason. And it's emotionally difficult for him. But we move on to the 7 of Pentacles, and here you see a farmer leaning on his hoe or whatever, or rake or whatever that is. You can't really tell. You just see the top part of it here, but you don't see actually what it is. He's looking at his grapes there. Those are grapevines, and you see the leaves from them. And he's taking stock, essentially. He's observing. 7 is about observation and balance, and about... it's also about legal matters, letting things settle out. The 7 for me is represented by a scale where you're letting the 2 pans settle out to see what you have. And that's really what he's doing. He's taking stock of what he's got. Does he have enough for the winter? Does he not? If there's been a massive change, then, at some point you want to say, well, and it's emotional, then you're going to have to take stock of what you've got going forward and to observe what everything as it settles out so that you know what you have. So if this is indicative of, say, a divorce, a separation of some kind from the family, then, or from a partner, then you may have to, in fact, take stock of what you've got. But then once you do that, here you have more support than you think you have. You've got people that are going in the same direction as this person here. Might be the king, but because there's no crown, I don't think so. I think he might be the lord of the manor, maybe depicted in this card. And these are the villagers that are going along with him, or the people that were at whatever situation that he was victorious in. But that's going to align well with the Fortuna Major card here. The end of it, you've got victory. You've got both the red and the green here. And you've got, and of course, this is the fire element with the suit of wands. And so something has actively happened. He's taking active steps to, after understanding what he's got, what his resources are, essentially. So a change in the home life. Maybe you've lost your home. Maybe the partnership or marriage has broken up. Or something has happened, lost his job. Could be anything that could cause emotional upset and imbalance. But again, once again, after taking stock of what he has, he now has something to look forward to here. And again, if you're looking at, the potential for success, clearly this is probably the outcome of that. So it tells me, again, just like on Monday, maybe we need another card, and this time I'm going to put it in between the second and third cards, if I can shuffle, without them going everywhere. Be okay, shut the video off and start again, because that would be catastrophic. So, cut the deck, take the lower half, take the 13th card. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Which is just my process. I was born on the 13th of October. My things happen to me in 13s. I don't know why, but they do. So here we have the Devil card. So this is interesting. This is the 15th card of the Major Arcana. It's a soul archetype card. It's basically talking about whether or not you're going to be a slave to ego or a slave to desire. You see the pentagram above here is pointed downward into physical reality. That's what it would look like if it was up to spirit. But here the focus is on physical reality and being chained to desire, chained to the ego, chained to the manipulations of other people. Could be the devil figure here, could be manipulating these two, has them both chained around the neck, and the chain is attached to the pole, or the post rather, that the devil is sitting on. Instead of the as above so below stance of the magician, with the magician's holding the wand or scroll, however you want to see it, up to spirit, up to heaven. Same position here with the arms and the hands, only here the torch is down, facing just above the ground. And so the light is on the ego, and the control the ego can have over your reactions and your decisions that you make, the way you see things. He's almost got this guy's tail on fire there, the little oak leaf on the tail, and here you have it looks like grapes here that are just kind of pointed upward on her tail. They both have cute little horns on their heads. Whether or not you want to see this as a representation of Adam and Eve, or the masculine and feminine duality that we experience within, all of us do. How much is going to, it just seems like they're both equally weighted in ego. There's no, you look in the Lover's card, same sort of thing, but you've got the woman looking toward the angel above. And he's looking at, and the man is looking at her. So there's a different weight to that card. The mountain leans to a little bit toward the woman. So the strength is with her, and the tree of knowledge, and moving creation along in a knowledgeable way, having the skills to do that. Whereas he's not ready for the world. you look at the tree of knowledge in that one, it's all green and lush and full. And the oak tree behind the depiction of Adam, if you will, is all spindly and has not reached its full potential. And so, because he's ignoring the knowledge that's being given by whoever was here and doing that at the time, to help humanity along, essentially. But here, with the devil card, it's very, very plain. It's both sides of both polarities, masculine and feminine, projective and receptive, are focused on ego and forgetting that they're souls, and forgetting that that's the control that you should be having over what you see going on and how you interpret it in your life. Instead, it's all reaction, it's all ego, it's all desire, it's all, it's all me, instead of the collective being the reality of things. And so something's happened with the 5. You're taking stock of what you're doing. You're having to evaluate, has my life been so ego focused that it's just so focused on that lower vibrational ego that may be responsible for the change in your life that happened here. But again, you have a 6 numerology for the card itself. 15 reduces to 6. And then the last card we have is another 6. But it's a different kind. Are you going to give yourself over to, say, somebody who is, if you're back here in the crowd, are you giving yourself over to somebody whose success is just his and not yours, but you're going along with it anyway because, that's just the way it is. That's the choice you've made. Or are you letting go of ego after you see this, because this is a significant thing that's happened in your life to where a big change has happened. And so you have to take stock of what you have. You have to figure, how did the ego come into focus here and play a big part in whatever happened here, because you see the black background here, you see the black cape here. He's all huddled into himself. And so at some point, taking stock, you have to evaluate, what was the ego? How did the ego get involved in whatever change that was made here? And then in the end, if for you to be victorious here, for you to be successful, you're going to have to take a different path. You're going to have to go in a different direction. These cards are focused going this way. Feel like a weather person, but this one's going the other way. So here a new path has opened, and where you're able to be successful and victorious. And again, I think that has to do with Ingu's being the potential for that, and bringing everything together so something can emerge into manifestation that is a different path forward, that is the light coming in with Ingu's here and Kenaz in all directions that creates it. All that light of spirit, all that light of higher awareness comes together and then, expresses outward like the seed would, and starts growing into its potential, into its manifestation, where you can then be successful. And I think that's what we have here. So again, just to summarize, without, looking at each individual card, there could be, something that's changed, but the change doesn't have to, you don't have to surrender your emotions to it. It's just something where change happens, and maybe it's going to put you on a different footing, a different path. But you're going to have to take a look at what you have, what your resources are, both external and inner resources. And as the reading would suggest, it might be material resources, how much money you have. To be able to do what you need to do. Maybe you need to relocate to someplace else for another job or a business opportunity or something. But you have to let go of the ego. You have to let go of the ego's hold on your emotions, and that keeps you in maybe a self-pity mode over the changes, because it's scary, especially if it's a breakup of a relationship that's the big change. It's scary moving forward, but at the same time, you have the ability, this 22 numerology for Ingus, to put an end with the 9 here, numerology for the rest of the reading, you have the ability as the cosmic builder to determine your path forward. And it looks like with Fortuna Major, once you do that, once you get all your ducks in a row essentially, and you figure out, you get the ego in where it belongs, which is, not in so much not determining your path forward, in other words, or your reactions to everything. You've got to compose yourself essentially and become like the seed and grow into something else. This could be the opportunity that you've been looking for. You just don't realize it yet. And in the end, with the Six of Wands, you're looking, that's a fire element. So it's an active principle. It's creativity. It's the spark of life. It's a very forward-looking type of energy. And when you do that and you let go of all of this stuff that's happened, put it into perspective, move forward with confidence and determination. And in the long run, this could be the path you should have always been on. You just needed something to happen to get you going in that direction. If you don't hang on to any emotion about it and just look at it as something that's happened, that now I have this opportunity, I have this potential to do something really brilliant with my life, then that may be what this is suggesting here today. Let go of the ego's hold, and because that it really does not get you where you need to go. It might feel like it in the moment, but that's a lot of self-reinforcement and self-justification that you engage in when the ego is hanging on to when that's the place you live instead of living in spirit. And the soul that you are, that's here to explore different ideas and different perspectives and different experiences. It doesn't mean that you want to get caught up in them. And I think the key here in the reading is the 7 probably of Pentacles, where you're taking stock of the resources you have. So you're already moving out of the emotion of it, out of the ego of it. In fact, you could probably put the Devil second, and then have the 7 here. You're taking stock of what you have, and once you know, you can then plan for the future that could be successful. So that's how I think the order I'm going to have these in: the 5 of Cups, the Devil, the 7 of Pentacles, and the 6 of Wands. Now, with the additional 6, with the additional 15, we have 9. Oh, let me do it on here. I'm trying to do it on my keyboard. What am I doing? Plus 15 equals 24, and that's 6. So let me just do a hyphen there and then do 6. So then instead of the 9 numerology with the 4th card, we'd have a 6. And again, that's going to be about compassion and assistance and empathy and shared path or shared direction, also harmony. But it's assisting yourself in a way that takes advantage of higher awareness to do that. So there's your assistance there. And then if you did take the 6 and the 22, that'd be 28, and 2 and 8 is 10, 1 and 0 is 1, so new beginnings. So that's also in there. So I'll probably, when I do the reading notes, I'll probably talk a little bit about the shift in the numerology here a little bit. I'll have a paragraph on that. It'll be up in I always do like a bullet point up top, and then there's the picture of the reading, and then I do just a little discussion on the overall idea of the reading and interpretation of it. So instead of like doing each individual thing, I don't do that anymore. I mean, otherwise, why watch the video? Because I talk about so many more things in the video. So anyway, that's just sort of how my process here. But check that out. I do these on Mondays and Thursdays, and so the little reading notes post also goes up on those days just after. Right at the same time I post the video. But so when you're watching, you can read along if you want to, and just kind of see the way I'm thinking about it. And who knows, maybe it'll spark something else in you, a different understanding of what this reading is about, that is even more helpful to you. And that's really the only reason that I'm doing these, is just to give you guys some other kinds of ways of seeing things, some other ideas of how you might look at something. I don't really see these as predictions, but it does start out as, well, there seems to be something that is changing, and a manifestation of something new. The potential for that is coming. That could be quite lucrative for you, even if it's just more happiness and fulfillment, even if it's not money. Fortuna Major can be about money, can be about material security, but it doesn't have to be. And it can be all about letting go of micromanaging a situation so that you're more comfortable, so you're more, and in other words, what are your resources in Fortuna Major? Is it money? Is it family? Is it friends? Is it peace of mind? What is your true Fortuna Major here? So it doesn't necessarily have to be money, although, money is mentioned in the reading in terms of maybe resources. But again, is it just material resources, or is it the emotional security that you feel to move forward on something? So it could be like that as well. So anyway, that's all there is for today. And thanks for watching. Check out the blog over at Stepping Aside. The web address there is imsteppingaside.com. If you forget, click on more below the video, and a box will open. It'll be right there. And check out the new posts that come out in the midnight hours Sunday morning, the forecasts for the week, and the correspondences for Work and Magic. They come out. If you're so inclined, you can get some correspondences there, astrological, and then the regular ones for each day. That could be helpful in putting together rituals and things like that, in terms of the timing of it and stuff. So check that if you would. I'd love you to do that. The Substack there's a link to that in the little box that comes up, the places I'm at down below at the bottom. It's either, you can look at it either under Jan Erickson or Witch Notes, and I post the reading notes. So sometimes I post the forecast over there too, but and the correspondences, but usually I don't. Usually it's just the tarot stuff and the rune stuff. So anyway, again, thanks for watching. If you have not yet clicked subscribe, I'd love you to do that, and come back on Monday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.